All right, so this is some of our insights for the TED.com talk that Hans Rosling gave. It's titled New Insights on Poverty. One of the things that I liked about it was how well he compared and contrasted other countries to other countries, but also to themselves. One of the examples he used was how GDP affects infant mortality rates. That as the GDP of the country goes up, the infant mortality rates would decline, showing that healthcare was better as finances within the country were doing better. I also liked that he stated that we need to compare the countries to where they are coming from versus to where comparing them to other countries. So it shows that the United States are about 50 years or so ahead of a lot of the other countries according to their healthcare because of their GDP and their financial and economical success. And he did it by using cool like little bubble charts that showed the graphs and how each country was connected to one another through the GDP and the infant mortality rates.
So, kind of going off what Joe said, I really liked how he showed the graph that it was bubbles, and it seemed that each country had a different size bubble depending on their population. And so it was a much easier way to see just how these countries compared, and then the ability that he had to go through the timeline and compare them. And I also really liked the interactive program he had at the end that would allow him to choose 4 different countries and then show their lifestyle at the time. And I know one of them, I wasn't able to write down all of them, but Uganda was one that he showed. And so he could click on that and show what their living conditions were like, what their couches even looked like. And that was based on how much they were making every day. And it's really astonishing to note that some places they live on $1, $1.50 a day. In places here we live on hundreds even. And for them, really, the important thing is that they make enough money just to feed themselves that day. With us, we have extra to spare. So it was interesting to see how he compared that and really made it stand out just how different it is.
What I really like about the video is when he talked about like a solution about poverty and when he emphasized about economic and health. But there are also some consequences when you obtain health and economic. More likely you'll be damaging the climate, which is pretty interesting. I guess you can't always have everything you want. I also like that there is a way out of poverty, and it's usually through technology, school, and health. And some other things that I really enjoyed from the video was when he, just like Matthew said, some of the pictures that he showed from different countries and how they progress. So there is hope. I guess it's just about using your resources wisely.
And then also he talked about that we need everything to make all things in development develop correctly. So he talked about the 6 or 7 things were human rights, environment, government, economical growth, education, health, and culture. According to him, most important to him was human rights and the culture part of it. But if we don't have all of those things interacting, we're not going to grow and develop very quickly. And then also how he talked about in poverty, when you're living in poverty, everything is about the survival mode and you're worried about eating every day. And so that comes into play what you have there to provide food as far as farming or farmers or different things that way. And then in order to get out of the poverty place, you basically are going to have to incorporate technology and some other things in order to continue to develop and grow and to do better that way.
I agree with all those points. And then one of the main points that he made was at the end to make the seemingly impossible possible. So we look at some of these countries and we think, how can we help them? How can we help them grow and improve? And we've seen that over the last few years, there are countries that have made great advancements in their healthcare compared to where they have been. They're not necessarily where we are at in America, but they're making progress with where they have been and where they're going. And one of the object lessons he used is he swallowed a sword down his throat to show that the seemingly impossible is possible.
I remember one country he mentioned in particular that seems to be improving a lot, surprisingly, is Africa. He talked about how they have really high HIV rates and struggle in that way, but he just kind of used them as another example of the improvement that they've made within the last few years as well, that can do anything.
Good.
Good.